Um, this is a very special woman. I met her maybe, how long ago, Tori? We met?
Maybe a month ago?
Maybe a month ago. Tori Quisling. I got it right,
That's
right?
right, yes.
We met, I saw her in an interview with the other girl. What's the name of the other girl?
Donna.
Donna. She's very sweet. And I said, this woman has so much knowledge and so much power that I said, I have to sit down and talk to her. And I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you for having me.
And it's like, if I had words to define you, you are too many things in one thing. I think you, number one, it seems that you're a wonderful, remarkable woman, clairvoyant as well. You're a practitioner, a teacher, an author, a mother, all in one.
Yes.
And I can sense, if I'm sensing you right, you have so much, of course, intuition, but you have a lot of, you're very deep, right? You seem to, like, I'm right here with you, and all of a sudden, like, we had all this energy going on in the other show that I said, I better concentrate and I better really relax. This is a very special guest tonight.
Well,
so I'm trying to fill you in.
Yes.
You're powerful.
Thank you.
Tori, and you're aware of your power, are you?
Well, I've learned some tools in my life on how to, being a sensitive person that I am, how to pull my energy in and focus it. And so I really teach people how to do this as well. And you're just naturally doing it. And we talked a little bit about this as we sat down here at first, and how to just kind of gather the energy of this space, because it got spread out and ungrounded. So we just grounded, and we just pulled our energy in. It's kind of like a spotlight being spread out over a big space versus a spotlight being tuned into one space. So we're just vibrating higher when we pull our energy
But the energy is like, you're very subtle. It's something, two things that I want to mention. Jeremy, they're a little loud over there, and I can hear people out. So please, we need some silence, please, some quiet in the room. And just let's keep it low. And Catherine, baby, don't, you cross in front of the camera. We didn't see you. I just want to make sure that you don't forget. You're a hell of a camera woman, and I love you. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we are doing it right. Arthur English, you have a headache? No? Okay, good. So where do we start, Tori? Where is this ability coming from? Can we go back from the beginning? I want to hear all about it. I want to hear, when was the time that you said, okay, I can do this?
I've always felt different than other people. And growing up, I was always a quiet person and just kind of watching and observing other people. And wasn't able to always join in other people, because I would just be on the outskirts watching. And so that's a sensitivity that I have to being around people. So I would say when I was just starting, at the end of high school and just starting college, I found a place that it's called the Berkeley Psychic Institute, which was a great place for me to find and get a reading and learn that I have psychic abilities. And so then it was from there that I started to get some confidence and certainty and be able to label all these sensitive emotions that I've had.
What kind of psychic abilities are we talking about?
Well, I started out being very clairsentient, it's called, which is located below the navel. And that's an ability to feel what everyone's feeling. It's like Deanna Troi on Star Trek. And being able to feel what is just happened in a room, for example. So I use clairsentience a lot to do a house healing, for example. I walk into a house, or before I get to the house, I can feel what's going on in the house, and which rooms in the house can be healed, and what happened before in the house. And then I also grew up being a very strong, which made that clairsentient made me very sensitive to other people's emotions around me. So it was almost too hard to be with other people, and hard to even speak up, because I was so filled with other people's emotions. So I'm very sensitive to people that are just, and that's a psychic ability. The other ability I grew up with was a trance medium ability, which is the ability to leave my body very easily.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Now, actors do this
Actors would do it all the time.
And channel other beings. I didn't intend to channel anything, but I would float away, and I would remember being a young child and looking down at the top of my head and someone talking to me, and I had to wait a few minutes before I could get back into my body to answer. So I remember those moments where I was a little helpless to being in my body and not remembering much of my early years because I was out all the time. So I became an elementary school teacher because I wanted to help children who are psychic, sensitive, so that I could help them ground, give them some tools in a very subtle way.
You can tell who has those abilities. Can you tell from anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I do, is I give readings on the spiritual path and on your psychic abilities, on your future, on your past lives, everything affecting you right now. So most people come to me because they know I'm a teacher as well, and they're having dreams, they're having thoughts and ideas, and they don't know what to do about it. And what I teach overall is how to take control, because usually people are a bit out of control with their psychic abilities. Right. And everybody has the ability to use all of them. It's just that one gets focused in on. So if somebody keeps hearing voices, you know, they're hearing things, they stand next to someone and they keep hearing something, they're not sure what to do.
Right, so, is that a schizophrenia when you hear voices?
Well, you know, that's a very out-of-control clairaudience. We have different abilities in each of the chakras, and clairaudience is the ability to hear spirit. Okay. And so everyone has the ability to actually tune each of these abilities you have, tune the chakras like dials. And so I teach you how to do that, and we do that through being clairvoyant. You connect with a screen here, and then you can look at all your abilities, just like a switchboard. Let me see which one I want to use. Let me turn it up, turn it down, and then I teach you how to specifically use that one. So, yeah, schizophrenia, it's interesting. My dad's a psychiatrist, so he manages those things. But somebody that we might call schizophrenic that's hearing voices is just very open, clairaudiently, and usually very open in the crown, which is the transmedium place. Now,
is this in terms of, like, I'm trying to grasp what you're saying, because it really is very intense, and I'm trying to really make sense out of it. Because people, you know, when you read stories, when you watch movies, the people who hear voices, they're crazy. So how do we address the problem? Because there's a lot of misunderstandings out there.
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's all about seniority. And saying who is senior. So once you get your own self-esteem and certainty that you are here and you're the most senior here, you're the most intelligent being because your body is here in 2012, this is your body. Other beings that float through and talk to you are not, they're not here. They're just in another realm. Right. So you're most important. So once you decide that, then you decide who you'd like to speak with. You know, no one can control you. Right. So I think you're talking about people that start to hear voices and they let those voices control them, or they think they're more important than them. Right. And
what happened when you kill for those voices?
Well, you know, that's just somebody that with a very low self-esteem. They really lost their sense of self and lost their space, so that they might be so spread out. They don't have any space. Right. You know, we have to define our space because we have a body. Right. But there's all this information, like I said. I know.
No, it's great, because that's what I'm here for. My question was, I said, how I prepare for Tori, because we talked about it last night. I called you, such a trooper, said, let's do this, let's get it done. I listened to your interview on the radio, the one you sent me on Facebook. And it's fascinating stuff. It's fascinating. Even just to hear you talking, I can keep hearing you forever. There's so much information that you want to get into, and it's a little bit overwhelming. It could be a little scary too. Yes. So how do we bring all this information to the audience, to regular people? How can we make it not easy, because nothing is easy in life, but more accessible?
Yeah,
people?
Well, yeah, it's very simple. I have a book that's just being published, The Clairvoyant Practitioner.
I should have that book in my hands.
Yes, and I don't have the printed copies yet. It's going to be on ebook, and then it'll be on printed copies. Awesome. Because there's an audio component of me speaking and doing the meditations for you. So it's a very simple introduction to what we're talking about, which is just very simply, we start with something called finding your space, because instantly we might jump all over the place, and then we start with being grounded. So first of all, let's ground what is the question and what is it that we really want to know. Right. And ultimately we want to have neutrality, amusement, joy. We want to feel good. That's what we want. Right. And so through clairvoyance and learning about your own clairvoyance, you can start to own and take control of sometimes out of control abilities. Many people have that clairsentient ability where they're just feeling everybody's issues and they forget that it's not theirs. They take on other people's. Or they're in the stomach area here, the solar plexus, and they're feeling like they have to control everything. Or they're being controlled.
Right.
So that happens in a lot of companies. You know, you get plugged in here and you just want to eat all the time or something. You know, you just don't know what to do with your energy. And people feel that ulcer coming on.
Right.
So people just want to feel better. So the first big reason people do learn clairvoyance is so that they can just feel better. And that's giving your body a tool, having the spirit connect with your body and give it a tool called grounding. So I usually just start by introducing you to how to ground your body so you can instantly feel better and not feel like you have to know everything at once.
Right, it's a process.
Yeah, and then you see what your questions are and you see what's most current. So, and that just is about imagining the root chakra, which is the energy center right at the base of your spine.
We have 7 chakras.
Yeah, 7 body chakras, and then you have your hands and feet. So there's 11 that I like to talk about because the hands and the feet are so important too. But yes, the first chakra at the root, just imagining a long hollow cord connecting you from that root chakra down into the center of the planet. And it's hollow and it's flexible, and you can just feel it's a vacuum, and it's just pulling out anything uncomfortable in your body. So at any moment, you can just tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm grounded. I have this tool, I'm a grounded person. So instantly you lose reactivity. Now you're just responsive.
Even anxiety, when people have very high levels of anxiety, what can they do to fix it?
Well, anxiety is just simply that fear going through the lower body.
To the lower body.
Yeah, the root chakra is all about survival and family and tradition, all those things that around this time of year, November, December, we get worried about. And then the second chakra, which is below the navel, I was talking about, that one is the emotional one. And it's relationships and your feeling and sensing everything there. And then we talk about sensing and feeling. And so anxiety we're going to feel in the stomach area too, because that's about being out of control and not feeling protected, feeling unprotected. So instantly, if you think of just I'm grounded, you can breathe and smile and just allow anything that's bothering you to just get suctioned down.
It's a state of mind, anxiety. It's a state of mind. It's fear, like you said, but does it really exist? I mean, so I read, I don't know where, but a famous writer who said that fear only exists in your head, in your mind. As long as you don't think about it, it doesn't exist.
Well, you know, the emotions of the body are just reacting to the pictures you give it. So that goes right back to clairvoyance, which again, right now you're looking on a screen. As I talk about pictures and fear, I'm picturing it, I'm imagining it. We speak in pictures.
Interesting.
And so it's about giving your body a different picture. Perhaps, you know, preparing yourself for a future anxiety attack and saying, what is my happy place? So standing on the beach, you know, looking out at the horizon and holding my hands out to the abundant ocean and just feeling that release. Having a vision that you can go to, which is a clairvoyant tool. Because whatever we show our body, like for example, if you have tickets to Hawaii, you'll show your body that Hawaii picture,
the sun,
and your body relaxes. So let's say you're traveling to Hawaii, and then it's the last day of the trip. So now you're picturing the airport and back home, and you know now your body's reacting to the picture you're showing it. You're still there in Hawaii, but you're showing your body a different picture. So we react to the pictures we give our body, and we think in pictures. So it's important to start to notice that that's what we're. So what are you picturing? What are you visioning? So what I tell people is that when people want to complain and struggle, most people say, how are you doing today? And you give them a struggle that you're going through. Oh, I've got a headache. I don't feel good. This is all happening.
I have a long day.
Yeah. And so that just adds to, you know, everyone's agreement that, yes, life is struggle. So when you jump out of that and you say, I'm just going to television all day long, like television. So I'm going to say, you know, oh, I have, you know, I'm looking forward to this thing I'm doing. I'm really looking forward. I'm seeing a lot of great things coming my way. You know, just talking